Okie dokie.
And we are live for the wastelands of the internet. I have come once again, but this time I have a leash on me. Jensen has arrived to make sure that I don't go too far off the deep end with this stuff today. At least he hopes so. Right.
Yeah. Just don't call me Daddy Jensen again. That was weird, okay?
Shall we partake in today's or this week's news? Let's do a little news roundup, shall we?
Of course.
Of course. Ukraine makes major troop withdrawal in key win for Putin and Russia. I thought they were winning. Did I make a mistake here? We've been told that they've been kicking the crap out of the Russians and that the Russians were on their final legs. Ukrainian troops have
Yeah.
withdrawn from a key battleground town of Advent. Adventivka. Adventivka.
Yeah. That'll do. It'll do.
I'm not trying to butcher the name. I can't say this. At least not the way it's
No.
spelled. Maybe somebody pronounce it for me. In the east of the country, which could pave the way for a Russian advance as the war nears its second anniversary. The withdrawal, announced as Ukrainian forces face acute shortages of ammunition with U.S. military aid delayed for months in Congress, aimed to save troops. It's not acute shortages of ammunition that they're having. Okay, you don't need to have the U.S. providing money for military aid, right? Aren't the rest of the NATO countries all involved in handing out arms and material to these guys?
Actually, we are.
So how is it that only U.S. The aid from the United States is key to this? Anyway, we'll continue on. All right. Uh, to save people's lives is what it is. Most of the city's pre-war population of 32,000 people have already left. The town has almost been completely destroyed. General Oleksakar Sirsky,
Why can't these people have normal names?
who took the helm of the Ukrainian military in a major shakeup last week, announced the withdrawal as a tactical move to save the lives of troops in the town that has been under heavy attack for months. I decided to withdraw our units from the town and move to a defense from a more favorable from more favorable lines in order to avoid encirclement and preserve the lives and health of the servicemen. Our soldiers performed their military duty with dignity. Die in place! Did everything possible to destroy the best Russian military units, inflicting significant losses on the enemy in terms of manpower and equipment. And all of that, I will admit, is completely true. The problem is that now, Jensen, in a platoon of infantry for the for the standard British military, right? How many people are in a platoon?
Yeah. Not as many as people like to say. I've actually heard people try to claim that there's only 9 in a platoon, by the way.
9. A platoon is
9.
normally around about 40, right?
I know, but I've had people try to tell me that there should only be 9 in a platoon. Plus, of course, a leader type to make it a 10th person.
That's like a squad.
Now, I found that... Yeah, I know. I'm just pointing out that I have had people try to argue that with me while I'm sitting there scratching my head going, where's the rest?
Yeah, okay.
What'd you do with the rest?
Yeah.
Sorry, carry on.
Normally, maybe I should have asked this question instead. Instead of what's the average size of a platoon, I should ask you, what's the average size of a company? Companies are normally made up of about 4 platoons, right?
Yeah. Oh, hello. Yes, we have. Oh, hello, Sixer.
Hello there.
And how are you
Hi, mate.
today, sir?
Still here, I suppose. Kicking, live and kicking, and limping. But yeah, I'm fine.
And limping.
Yeah, I know that for you, mate. Yeah.
Live kicking and limping. Although less
I
kicking.
wouldn't say kicking in your case. It's more of...
Yeah, less kicking, more of a stumble.
Yeah.
A stumble
No
back.
disrespect, sir. No disrespect, sir. Just had to be said.
I don't know what to say there because it's hard to tell when you're being disrespectful or respectful.
I am always respectful. But in answer to your question, MC, oh Christ! I'm sorry. No, I don't know, and I'll tell you why I don't know. Because my brain is completely frozen.
Well,
Absolutely frozen. Wow.
did Sixer, are you still there?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I just heard some weird sound. I was like, he left? No.
No.
That was him. That was you speaking. There's your weird sound.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah.
So,
Oh, I'm sorry about that, MC. My brain is completely gone.
no, normally,
Just grey fuzz.
and if I'm wrong, you can correct me. Normally, a platoon
Yeah.
has about 110, 120 people. All right, approximately.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
They were running around in this area, the Ukrainians, with
Mhm.
companies of less than 50 people. All right.
Okay.
You had battalions of like 200. Right.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't a shortage of weapon and material and armament. Okay,
No.
don't get me wrong; those are a problem. Okay, but the
Yeah.
real problem that they're having is the fact that you don't have the manpower in the front lines.
Yes.
Okay, so I was taking a look at what they were saying they were doing for recruitment.
Mm-hmm.
According to what I saw, maybe I'm wrong, but it looks to me as if they're not even drafting 18-year-olds in Ukraine. That they're only drafting people like
Wow.
22, 23. And I'm like, you should be drafting people in this situation 18 or 17 even, all right? As drastic as this is. Because
Okay, I don't.
Go ahead.
Or I was gonna say I don't want to be that much of an ass, but I've got to say, in the situation they're in, 12 plus, can you hold a gun? Can you see the sky? Yes, get up front. Okay, if that is. I'm sorry. I know that is not how it should be done. I accept this, but they are not in a situation where they can cherry pick.
We also need to send over the people who wants to use our money to fund them.
Yeah, well.
Well,
You want to fund it? You go over there and wage it.
all right. The 3rd Assault Brigade, a prominent Ukrainian infantry assault unit, was rushed into the town to reinforce troops this week as other Ukrainian forces pulled back from the southeast of the town. The unit described the fighting as hell and said on social media that Ukrainian defenders had been outnumbered by Russian forces by a ratio of about 6 to 100 in some places. That's called losing. Okay.
Losing very badly by the sounds of it.
The withdrawal was seen as a massive win for Russian President Vladimir Putin and the biggest since Russia captured the city of Bakhmut in May of 2023. The timing is critical as Russia is looking for a morale boost ahead of the second anniversary on February 24th of Moscow's full-scale invasion of the Ukraine and the March presidential election in Russia. It's also seen in the wake of news that Putin critic and opposition leader Alexei Navalny has died at age 47, and we have that one right now.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
I just want to point out, I personally think what he actually suffered from was he happened to know where Hillary kept some of her emails, and so we know what happens to
Okay.
people.
So he fell onto some bullets, did he?
Alexei
He fell onto some bullets to the back of the head.
Well,
Yes.
this is hilarious. not funny, haha, but it's just you can't make this stuff up. Alexei Navalny's cause of death revealed. Russia claims that the opposition leader died from sudden death syndrome.
What? Oh, so a cot death, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm.
Sudden death, you mean when they put a bullet in the back of his head? That sort of sudden death.
Well, you got to admit that it's pretty sudden.
That is sudden, isn't it? Yeah.
Just saying.
Or decapitation. That's sudden there.
But his body is missing
I
while
can't really
killers
disagree.
cover their tracks and police arrest hundreds of mourners. I mean, sudden death syndrome. Really?
Mhm.
You gotta be kidding me. You're gonna release a statement on it.
So he's been Epstein then, yeah?
Pretty much, yes.
No, because with Epstein, at least you had the body. Well, at least a
Oh,
body.
have you heard? Have you heard? Apparently, his family are demanding that Putin's lot return the body.
Oh, it looks like they're going to disappear as well.
Yeah, I bet they don't get that body back.
Russian
Well, it's not without it going
investigators
tick, tick, tick.
are alleged to have told opposition leader's mother as she visited the brutal IK3 polar wolf penal colony where he was being held this morning. Lumidna Navalnaya, was seen today traveling to the colony in northern Russia where she was told her son had died after returning from a walk at 4:17 local time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the way I see it, they're going to get the body back, but it's going to be cremated.
I think it's going to be frozen.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll say cremated, so that way there's no all the evidence of how he died is gone.
Oh yeah.
Well, he died after returning from a walk at 4:17 local time. You're out there for just a brisk stroll in the Siberian winter.
No, but I'm saying that's how he's going to get. They're going to get the ashes. They're not going to get a body. They're going to get his remains, his ashes. Do you think they're going to give him an intact body, whether it's frozen or not?
No.
Why does my husband never had 6 fingers? What's going on here?
Why is there a battery in here? Everlasting my ass.
Oh.
Yeah. Look, the thing that I don't understand is this guy Navalny, right? You know what he is. You know what he's doing. You've already imprisoned him, right? What's the point of continuing the abuse when you already have him in prison? Does that make sense?
Yep.
I just don't
I think they just
understand why
made
you
him
don't
ask more
why
than
they don't
that.
just don't deal with it.
Well,
Okay,
they've made him a martyr anyway, so there you go.
Yeah, they did. Hey, look, Putin's a bad guy.
Oh, well, duh, no doubt.
You noticed? Wow.
Wow, I mean, come on. Wow, where have you been?
Just pointing these things out. The thing is that the people that are opposing him, like Navalny wasn't a good guy either. Just so you understand that.
So the conflict on people on both sides of this conflict are not good guys. Not even. Come on, let's be honest. We're supporting.
You can't.
I don't give me that. The lesser of two evils. I'm sorry, they're both as bad as batshit crazy as each other.
Well, Navalny wasn't as bad as Putin. I'm going to say that right now.
No, I'm not talking about Putin. I'm not talking about this guy. I'm talking about both Zelensky and
Zelensky is,
Putin. Yeah, they're both as bad as each other. I don't know why we're supporting one arsehole over the other. As far as I'm concerned, they're both just as bad and they're both just as dangerous.
It's called money laundering.
We tried supporting someone like that before. You remember the Taliban? Guess what happened? They turned their weapons against our weapons that we gave them on us.
Well, that's
so.
That's
you think it's not going to happen again?
Well, it wouldn't if people would do the right thing. Bunker down.
Yeah.
NATO countries to build bunkers along the border with Putin as Europe's warned to ramp up weapon stocks. To wartime levels. 3 NATO countries will build bunkers along the border with Russia as World War III fears continue to grow. Europe has been warned to ramp up its weapons stocks to wartime levels in preparation for an impending battle against Vladimir Putin. Okay,
And Zelensky.
nothing against anybody here, but does anybody remember the Maginot Line?
Who was airline?
That should be a clue. If he don't know, what chance have I got?
Yeah.
You don't remember the Maginot Line? The whole purpose
No,
of the
not-
Maginot Line, of the big frickin' French fortifications after World War One, that
Oh,
was
that.
going to prevent the Germans.
Oh,
coming in.
yeah, we had Germans crossing over. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Good morning, Nimble Horse. Good morning, Jacob AJ. I mean, I just trying to point this out. This is kind of the word.
This is what I'm saying about that.
The word
trying
useless comes to mind. Now, I don't mind building certain bunkers and strong points because they do have to be taken out, and they are slow down sticks. Okay, if you play those racing
That's
games
what-
and you hit the little slow down stick barriers, that's what this is. Okay,
It's
but
true. They are speed bumps.
they're going to slow things down. I'll grant you that, but you're not going to stop the Russians if the Russians want to take you out. And yes, the provinces that they are showing here, all right, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, they're frankly under threat. I
And
do
they were all
see.
former Soviet Union, weren't they? They all used to be for Soviet.
Yes.
former-
Well, Soviet at different points in time, they're part of the Soviet Empire. Okay, they are unique, just like the Ukrainians. They are a unique culture. They're not Russians, right? The Estonians, the Latvians, and the Lithuanians are not Russians in the sense that like Belarus and Russia are, right? They don't speak
Mhm.
necessarily Russian, all right. However, they don't have the ability to stand up to Russia either. That's very true.
No.
Okay. And if NATO is really serious about trying to defend these guys, they're going to have to move in massive amounts of troops. And it's not going to be an easy thing to do. All right? It's not. So the idea that they can handle this, I don't think people understand just how tenuous these three countries are. Now, these countries did put a finger in Russia's eye when they joined NATO, and they never should have.
Yeah.
And if they would have formed their own alliance and said we are our own alliance and went from that way, they'd have been better off. All right, to try and claim that. But we got to understand how the Russians, and I'm not talking Putin. All right, because Putin is just a symptom. I want people to understand this. The Russians have a mentality. Russia as a whole has a mentality, and it is not it's not the Western kind of mentality that you and I have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of an older world mentality in a lot of ways, but at the same time, it's not that they want
The old
but
country.
if they feel threatened, they will attack. That's how they feel. So building border defenses and things probably isn't a huge trigger for them per se. All right, but at the same time, the collapse of the Ukraine will buffer them up to say, okay, it's time to take on the rest of the stuff that these people took from us, because that's how they see it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a good thing. Speaking of border walls, Egypt builds walled enclosure on border as Israeli offensive looms. Is it an offensive or is it just a stomping? Egyptian authorities fearful that an Israeli military push further into the southern Gaza will set off a flood of refugees are building an 8-square-mile walled enclosure in the Sinai Desert near the border.
Racists! Walls are
I'm so glad you
racist!
said that. I'm so glad you did that.
According to Egyptian officials
What?
and security analysts, For weeks, Egypt has sought to bolster security along the frontier to keep Palestinians out. You notice they're not worried about the Israelis coming over the border.
That is true.
Do you
I wonder
notice?
why they're worried about the Palestinians. Why are they worried about the Palestinians? They're innocent.
They're just good boys. They never did nothing wrong.
Something to do about a snack bar and fireworks.
Maybe.
See, I was very, very, very correct there.
The massive new compound is
Snack bar and fireworks.
part of the contingency plans if large numbers of Gazans do manage to get in. More than 100,000 people could be accommodated.
Yeah.
Okay, folks, they're not using a word that I'll use right now. They're setting up a concentration camp for Palestinians. Okay?
Yes.
I want people to understand this.
You mean a place where they can have to think very hard?
Yes.
All right.
So somewhere where they have to think very hard.
Large numbers of tents, as yet unassembled, have been delivered to the site. All right. And it's going to be concrete walls. This is pretty good. They're building this thing right over here.
It's a big, beautiful wall, and the Palestinians are going to pay for it.
Yep.
It's a big, beautiful wall.
From river to shining sea.
See.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll give you a river to the sea.
And the reason is because they're getting ready to stomp on Rafah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
When the Israelis move in and start obliterating everything in Rafah, that'll be
Rolling.
You know. But of course, the UN, in their infinite wisdoms, they put out this.
Of course.
The Palestinian Relief Agency head deplores short-sighted calls for closure. The head of the UN Relief, whatever they're supposed to be, UNRWA, right, said on Tuesday that calls for it to be dismantled were short-sighted and that terminated the mandate of the agency that provides essential services to Palestinian refugees like bombs, guns, missiles, all right, would deepen the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. We'll lose.
I don't think they really care, to be honest. I think they're going to listen to anything the UN says when they listen to anyone.
The Israel said UNRWA, all right, which has helped the Palestinians for over 70 years, is not fit for purpose, and major donors have suspended funding after allegations that 12 of UNRWA's thousands of Palestinian employees, all right, were suspected of involvement. No, it's not that they were suspected. They were caught on camera. Yeah. Okay? These people were not suspected, and they have hundreds.
Suspected.
and it's
that's like me being caught on. That's like me being caught on CCTV camera shoplifting, and they say no, allegedly suspected. No. Even though there's video footage of me actually perpetrating the offense, it's still suspected.
Yeah, that's right. Great, isn't it?
It's great, and bureaucrat bullshit at its best.
And their agency was being used as headquarters for the underground Hamas group.
Yeah, I saw that on MI2. See, there was a the more footage, IDF footage showing them these tunnels that lead them right underneath this UN building.
Yeah,
and access to the UN building underground.
Of course, it has access to the UN. They are in cahoots, and they've been in cahoots for a long time. Yeah. And everybody knows it. And all this supposed aid got turned into Katyusha rockets and missiles that are being fired into the thousands into Israel. And all anyone wants to do is go. If the poor Palestinian people, if there's a humanitarian crisis for the poor Palestinian people, please explain to me why Egypt is building a wall there, saying we don't.
They don't want to hear that part, though, didn't they? They don't want to hear that part. The truth. They don't want to hear that. No.
Meanwhile,
the problem is, suckers. Unfortunately, us bloody Western morons, suckers, haven't been pulled into it, or just don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
They don't seem to
Terrorists
realise what started it. They say, we want a ceasefire. You had a ceasefire right up until October the 7th. You had a ceasefire.
terrorists are paid for check marks on X, report says. The report shows that X, Twitter, right, has accepted payments for subscriptions from entities barred from doing business in the United States, a potential violation of sanctions. X, the social platform owned by Elon Musk, is potentially violating U.S. sanctions by accepting payments for subscription accounts from terrorist organizations and other groups barred from doing business in the country, according to a new report. The report by Tech.
Elon Musk, who will soon be paying that, but Elon Musk, who will soon be, hopefully, with any luck, buying out Disney.
The report by Tech Transparency Project, a nonprofit focused on accountability for large technology companies, shows that X, formerly known as Twitter, has taken payments from accounts include Hezbollah leaders, Houthi groups, and state-run media outlets in Iran and Russia. Subscription costs $8 a month and offers a blue check mark once limited to verified users like celebrities, a better promotion of X's algorithms among other, and has a better promotion of X's algorithms among other perks. Okay, $8 a month.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they could have a. I'm sorry, but I don't think that this is a huge thing of note of concern. All right. Now, I'll be honest with you. When I go on Twitter every now and then, all right, my timeline is filled with all these freaking Hamas supporters. All right, it's filled with these people.
Yep.
All right.
Oh yeah.
And
on Facebook as well.
Well, Facebook, I rarely go on Facebook.
Oh, believe you, there's a lot of bloody Hamas supporters there, but it's unbelievable. It's nuts.
Well,
Sixer, first of all, you're about to make a mistake. By suggesting this, Nomad may just go on there and declare war on the people on Facebook as well.
Go for it.
No.
Go
He's
for
having
it.
basically 2 steps away from an explosion.
It needs a good explosion.
He doesn't deserve this.
Oh, but Facebook does.
Well, Facebook has needed an enema for a long time. Let's be perfectly frank here.
Oh, right?
Yeah. Twitter needed one. They got one. They got the enema. Okay, they need an enema of their own in a similar manner. They really do.
Unfortunately, the guy's still in charge of it. So
prices rise more than expected in January as inflation won't go away. Really, governmental spending hasn't stopped, and inflation won't quit. Imagine that. Inflation.
That's Bidenomics.
Inflation rose more than expected in January as stubbornly high shelter prices weighed on customers.
No, come on, hold. Unexpectedly.
Yeah,
I mean, didn't they see this coming? I'm not from the United States, and I saw it coming. Really?
Stevie Wonder saw it
coming.
Are you
fucking kidding me?
The Consumer Price Index.
The man from the moon saw it fucking coming. and they're saying they didn't see it coming? Really? Mm-hmm. You bunch of fucking
Based on the Consumer Price Index, all right, it increased by 0.3% for the month. The Bureau of Labor Statistics reported on a 12-month basis and came out to 3.1%, down from 3.4% in December. Really? Then what happened here? Economists surveyed by Dow Jones had been looking for a monthly increase of 0.2% and an annual gain of 2.9%. Excluding volatile food and energy prices, the so-called core CPI accelerated 0.4% in January and was up 3.9 from a year ago, unchanged from December. The forecast had been for 0.3% and 3.7% respectively. All right. And basically, they're using numbers to hide what anybody who goes to the grocery store and tries to buy food knows. All right.
So next thing to be telling me that January the 6th wasn't an inside job. Oh yes, sorry, it was an inside job. Beg your pardon.
Let's get to this. Trump fan nabbed for vandalizing gay pride mural. A man with a giant
Yay.
Donald Trump flag flying from the bed of his pickup truck vandalized an LGBTQ plus mural by doing multiple burnouts on top of the painted installation,
I
according to
remember that.
police who arrested the motorist on a felony charge. Police in Delray Beach, Florida, allege that Dylan Reese Brewer, 19, allegedly left numerous skid marks across the downtown's Pride intersection that was painted to resemble a pride flag. Surveillance cameras recorded the Dodge Ram truck with its Trump flag flapping, screeching across the roadway on Sunday. Witnesses told police that the vehicle seen above performed repeated burnouts on the mural, which was installed by the Palm Beach County Human Rights Council and AIDS Healthcare Foundation.
Oh dear.
It's
been. Hey, have you seen that? Have you seen that video clip where it showed one of the patrol horse trying to cross one of those things and it couldn't because something about the colours scared it?
What did I say to you earlier?
Yeah.
There was a video clip of I can't remember if it was Canada or Australia, but there was a patrol horse could not cross it because of the colours. It scared. He had to go around it to to cross over.
Yeah.
Says it all, really, doesn't it?
This whole thing is stupid. All right. Here's my comment. If you want a mural, fine. If you put a mural on a road, you're an idiot. Okay?
Yes.
I mean, let's be perfectly frank here. All right? You're an idiot. It's being driven on, it's being stepped on, it's being walked on. With the homeless problem we have in this country in these areas, it's going to get human pissed on. I mean, come on. Shit on. It's just nonsense.
Yeah.
And of course, if it was a mural of George Floyd, lightning will probably have struck it down. You know what I'm talking about as well.
I do. We did that story when it happens. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
TV ratings. Jon Stewart's Daily Show returns hits multi-year high. The reunion of Jon Stewart and the
what do you mean by high?
All right. Well, we'll get to it. The reunion of Jon Stewart and the Daily Show brought a lot of viewers back to the program as well. Stewart's first show back as a part-time host of the Comedy Central's late-night flagship drew 930,000 viewers Monday, the most for a Daily Show installment in almost 6 years since March 28th, 2018, midway through Trevor Noah's time as host. Simulcast on other Paramount-owned channels, MTV, Paramount Network, TV Land, blah, 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 and a later replay on Comedy Central brought the total to 1.85 million viewers. With Stewart, who left the anchor desk in 2015, hitting familiar comedic beats and an aggressive, if brief, marketing push behind his return, The Daily Show also recorded its best same-day rating among adults 25 through 54 since August of 2017, more than doubled the show's audience for the final 2 weeks of Noah's tenure. The series guest hosts it featured in 2023. Hi, Maddie. Well, come on board if you want. My question for you guys, because you guys are both of you are quite a bit younger than I am. I'm not part of this demographic, okay, that they're talking about.
Yeah.
The first question I have is do you think that this is a long-term thing, or do you think that this is just a nostalgia blip?
Well,
nostalgia blip.
But plus, I think as long as he still preaches what he always does, this is another guy that's from TDS, so he'll be there for a while yet. While he's still spouting out the usual garbage that he all do, he'll be fine. As long as he stays in line, follows the political line, and Orange Men Bad and all the other things, and dancing needles, he'll be fine.
Well, no. I mean, as far as getting kicked off, I don't think he's in any danger of ever getting kicked off. My question, though,
because
is
because he's suffering TDS.
Yeah,
so he follows the line.
But
they all do.
The thing is he's brought the numbers back, all right, at least to some degree, that they had, because this show was wildly popular, right, until he left.
Yeah.
All right, and then it just started spiraling down and down and down and down and down.
Well, do you think he's gonna be all right, or is it just gonna be a blip and he'll disappear?
Well, I don't know that.
I think it's going to be a blip.
I'm asking MC.
Yeah.
No. If you're asking me, I don't know. I honestly don't know. That's why I asked the question to begin with, because to me, I was never a fan of the guy. I always thought he was an ass. And Jensen knows this. All right, I absolutely despise the guy. I think the guy is vermin. Okay. The thing that what set me off more than anything else was his bullshit going. What the 9/11, workers and stuff need to get paid, and you guys aren't giving us enough federal money, and New York got attacked, and they deserve this money. The first responders deserve this money, and I went on a tirade. You can ask Jensen about it. It's because the guy's a fraud. The guy's a freaking
Nomad. Bessie the cow. That's what I'm going to say.
Oh.
You remember your thing about him and Bessie?
Oh, yes, I do.
Oh, yeah.
This son of a bitch wanted billions and billions and got it. That's the worst part about it. Got it from Congress.
Mm-hmm.
All right. For the supposed first responders that deserved all this effort and everything else. Meanwhile, this son of a bitch is spending tens of millions of dollars on his farm, all right, to protect farm animals for Bessie the cow. See, Bessie needs to be saved, all right. Well, then, if Bessie needs to be saved, how about that firefighter that's choking, got coughing lung? How come you're not trying to save him, huh? And it's not just that. If you take a look and I'm not, look, he can spend his money any way he wants. I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem when you come up and tell me I've got to spend my money for what happened in 9/11. That I haven't sacrificed enough. Go F yourself.
He's off.
Mm-hmm. I was about to say, offers you some popcorn.
This son of a bitch, put your freaking money where your mouth is, pal. Why don't you go out there and try and stop all this bullshit that you stand there and pontificate on the Daily Show and all the other things where all you're doing is raking in money out the wazoo, and then you shove half of it up your nose, and another part of it you're busy giving to Bessie the cow, and they come crying about the poor workers in New York. And what have you ever done for the people in New York? Are you out there on the front lines out there? Are you? No. You pay taxes. You pay taxes so that $100 million a year from New York City can go to Planned Parenthood, rather than the guy who was trying to save your life. Oh yeah, you guys got your freaking priorities right.
Fantastic.
Just remember,
isn't that lovely thing? Isn't that lovely thing, Jensen? Don't you love it when that happens?
All I said to him was Bessie the cow.
The cow, and he goes off on a tangent. It's brilliant.
Okay,
I'm just
brilliant.
I agree with him, by the way.
It's just fun to watch. That's all.
Immigration, anybody? All right. Get out of the next story. Get out of the next.
What immigration? There's no immigration.
Our borders are your borders are supposed to be well protected, apparently.
Yeah.
There is no invasion. There is no invasion.
What was your comment on this, Jensen?
Oh, yeah.
Jensen's comment on this, folks, was does New York need money?
Well,
Now, I want
they
you
need to 364 million. Yes.
right, listen
No,
to
no, I'm being serious here, Sixer. Okay. I vaguely remember hearing that New York was having some sort of major deficit with his money, and then suddenly this comes out.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Are you seeing a pattern in
I
this?
know. So I said they're suddenly coming into a bit of a windfall about $364 million worth.
Donald Trump is fined $364 million in a civil fraud trial, all right, in which nobody was defrauded, all right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And banned from serving as an officer or
Will the
director of a
civil
company in the state for 3 years.
will the Supreme Court be able to do anything about this?
This will go up.
Will it go to the Supreme Court?
It'll go to the New York Supreme Court first of all, and then it'll go higher. But we'll sit there and see how this goes.
That's what I'm saying, because where
Donald Trump and
they'll
his
turn around and say, "Listen,
well, yeah, but you'll like
Sorry.
this. Donald Trump and his family business have been fined a devastating $364 million for inflating property prices worth following a blockbuster fraud trial in New York. Judge Arthur Engoron,
what a piece of crap he is."
also banned the former president from serving as a director of a company in the state for 3 years in the crushing ruling issued on Friday that puts the future of his business in the Big Apple in doubt. His son, Eric and Don, were fined more than $4 million
$4 million.
each, and his former CEO, Alan Weisselberg, was fined $1 million for the scheme to massively inflate the properties, right, including the Mar-a-Lago, to get favorable loan terms from lenders. Trump has up to 30 days to come up with the money, which interest could top more than $400 million, or secure a bond of around $35 million. The staggering decision follows an explosive 3-month court case where Trump took a stand with his children, including Ivanka, testified. Trump now owns more.
Not at all political, huh? Right?
Hey,
Not at all
Batman.
political. No whatsoever. Hey, Batman.
Oh God, he's here.
Yes,
I mean, oh
I'm
God,
here.
he's here.
Yes, of course. How are you fat fucker?
I'm not fat.
How do I know?
For the same reason you're not massively gay.
This is true.
All right.
Or Jensen is not ginger or French.
His net worth is
You know,
believed to be
twat.
around $2.6 billion, according to Forbes' estimate in September of 2023. Okay.
Actually, I believe that.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I'll just getting back to Jensen there. You, please, go ahead.
Okay. The biggest problem that they're going to have with this, right, is obviously, first of all, the judge refusing to allow this to go to a jury. All right. That already was violating certain rules.
Well,
now this is
well, in the States, you don't need juries or judges anymore. You've got the View.
Apparently, yeah.
Oh God.
Hey, there's a question. Sonny Host in there. She's just found out she's descended from transatlantic slaves and slave owners. So is she going to pay herself reparations?
Yes.
That's good. Or pay Whoopi Goldberg reparations.
Mm-hmm.
Enough.
Or buy some bananas.
All right. Here's the problem with this ruling: is this 30,000 IRS agents. 30,000 IRS agents.
Mm-hmm.
A company, 30,000 IRS agents target
There's something fishy going on here.
11.5 million small business owners in a massive fraud investigation. And there's where you're running into the problem, folks. In a dramatic turn of events, the IRS has mobilized a formidable force of 30,000 agents. Now, notice how it hasn't said it's turned all of its agents. This is just 30,000 that they had to spare.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, justifying their existence.
In an unprecedented crackdown that comes in the wake of mounting concerns over the alleged misuse of COVID-19 relief funds, specifically the Paycheck Protection Program and Economic Inquiry Disaster Loans. All right. Financial expert John Williams sheds light on the magnitude of this operation and its potentially far reaching consequences. According to Williams, a staggering $1.2 trillion in relief funds was dispersed by the Small Business Administration over the past 2 years. However, shocking revelations suggest that a significant portion of this sum, approximately 70%, is 70% of the sum a significant proportion or the overwhelming majority, right, never
Overwhelming
reached the
majority.
intended recipients, employees. Instead, an alarming 66 to 77%. In other words, it isn't 70%, it's between 66 and 77.
It's almost 80%.
All right,
Yeah.
were diverted into the hands of business owners and shareholders, raising serious questions about the integrity of the relief program. Folks,
It's
Gee.
got the hold on. It's got the integrity of a broken fucking net.
Pretty much, yeah.
How do you say that this money
Pretty
was
much like that judge.
how do you say that this
Mhm.
money was intended, all right, for the employees? Did the employees lose their jobs still?
No, the idea was, assuming that this is what I think it is, which I think I'm correct. The idea is that this money was paid to the managers, so the manager would actually pay the workers. The problem is the managers took the lion's share of it and basically gave dribs and drabs to the workers, and
Yep.
that's
Well,
half the problem.
actually, this was put in place to prevent these people from becoming unemployed. And if they didn't
Which is
become
what I said.
unemployed, it did what
Mhm.
it was supposed to do.
True.
Right?
The problem is more money was sent and not enough was given to the
Yeah.
lower class.
By not enough, you mean none.
Well, no,
Well,
they
no,
were
they
still
got
paid their
salary.
normal wage. They were not
Just
let
pins.
go.
Yeah.
These individuals are facing severe penalties, with some potentially facing decades-long prison terms for their alleged roles in schemes involving millions of dollars, from luxury cars to designer goods. The ill-gotten gains from these schemes have funded lavish lifestyles at the expense of taxpayers, which is why certain taxpayers, such as myself,
Well,
we're trying
hold
to
on.
tell you not to sit
So
up there and push this.
hold on. So yeah, lavish lifestyles at expensive tax. So they're politicians then.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
Yep.
From Xinhao News, Japan succeeds in launching the new H3 rocket nearly 1 year after its failure. Japan's space agency on Saturday successfully launched its next generation H3 rocket nearly a year after the maiden
You know
launch
what?
failure rekindled
You know what happened to the
country's space
you know what happened to the
exploration
first one, don't you?
efforts.
You know what happened to the first one. I mean, one lone Japanese astronaut in it, and he's just about to break the bounds of the Earth's atmosphere, and he saw this American ship, and went, yeah,
Tora, tora, tora.
Yeah.
Banzai!
I don't think that was that. Besides, they're going after the whales and the.
"Die, little night scum!"
they're going after the whales and the
American
dolphins.
capitalist pig! Sorry, wrong country.
Anyway,
Same sentiment.
Yes.
at
yeah.
about 9:22 a.m. local time, the vehicle H3 rocket test flight number 2 was launched from the Tanegashima Space Agency
Bless you.
Tanegashima Island in the southwestern prefecture of Kigushima. Well, these people are trying to kill me with pronunciation words today.
Yeah. Oh, MC Compet. Sorry. Oh, Nomad gonna be done his new son. Let's make really funny.
Yeah.
Ah,
pretty much.
Toshiba. Toyota.
Considering the
Godzilla.
failed launch attempt, a
Toyota.
2.6-ton Mach
Oh.
satellite called VEP-4 for performance verification was loaded into the H3 rocket instead of an actual satellite from the original plan, with the two microsatellites riding alongside as piggyback payloads, said Japan's space agency. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that.
JAXA.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure that they have a different view of it. So,
That's
Oh, yaksa.
the VEP-4 weighs about the same as an Earth observation satellite Dachi 3, which cost 187 million or 0.6 million US dollars to develop, and was lost during the failed launch on the first
So
unit
that'd
in
be about
last March.
that'd be about £50 then.
US dollars, dude. And while we have a problem, it doesn't. 50 quid is not 187 million dollars.
not quite that bad. Okay.
Not
quite
yet.
that bad.
We're
yeah.
not there yet.
Getting there.
We
It's
are
about
getting there.
150 million to
The
us.
horrible thing is having a currency that strong against a leading currency like the US dollar is just as bad as having a currency as strong as the Italian lira was.
That never
Now,
went badly.
the first question I
Nope.
have about the Japanese group here is, in their first launch, which failed, you actually put a satellite in there on an untested rocket.
Yeah,
Okay.
they put a test satellite in there.
It's not like we're back in the days of the space race in the 1960s, where it's like, well, just throw it in there, we'll see what happens. Okay.
Yeah, when the Russians tried it 9 times out of 10 it blew up. When the Americans tried it 9 times out of 10 it worked.
So,
Because I think the Americans actually watched what the Russians did, and whatever the Russians did, the Americans did differently.
well, the first
Didn't do.
the first successful launch and recovery of an astronaut, all right, in craft, was done by the United
It was
States.
Yuri Gagarin.
No, it wasn't. Yuri Gagarin did not maintain. He jumped out of that craft and parachuted down by himself.
Oh, okay. Didn't know
Right.
that.
Well, they hid that for years because it was.
Right, they had the first dog in space. They never got the poor thing back though.
No,
And the
they
first
did
woman in
not.
space.
They did put the first woman in space. She came back.
Well, they say she Valentina Tereshkova was a woman. Like, but have you ever seen pictures of her?
Look,
She was a real woman, especially to nowadays.
Yeah,
We're not talking about Tess Holiday again now. We come on, I thought we left that one behind.
Nope.
Are you joking? We can't get a rocket to lift her up. Get serious.
Yeah, it'd be easy to push the Earth away from her.
Yeah.
Besides, she reduces her own orbit, doesn't she?
Yeah,
Police.
Yeah, she jumps up. That's basically Earth achieving escape velocity
Earthquake,
from
yeah.
Tess Holiday.
Woman busted for battering her mom with grits. A female victim,
That is still
64,
awesome.
was covered with
With
grits when officers arrived, according to the police report. An argument over kitchen usage turned violent Monday afternoon when Jaika Mobley,
For
28.
us, un-American people,
Some sort of
what
food.
the fuck are grits?
Some sort of food, if I remember.
Yeah.
Porridge.
So, yeah, some sort of food, but
Porridge. Think of porridge.
right. So it's porridge.
Porridge. Right.
So she got a Scottish battering.
Have you ever seen? Have you ever had? Have you ever seen cream of wheat?
I know of it, but
Never even heard of it.
It's okay. It's not.
Staying out of it.
It's not a.
Is that stuff that I didn't down Periscope, but it turned out to be corned beef?
No.
no.
Yeah, you remember, didn't you, Nomad?
It's kind of like a white pasty grain, but it's not rice and it's not oats or anything like that. It's a small little grain, okay, and it is a staple down south.
Right, we've got that over here. It's called rat droppings.
It's not rat droppings. Okay, it's not rat droppings. It's a thing. And
sure?
the thing is
Mashed
that
potatoes with rat droppings.
I can see why they actually charged this person. The victim, Isla Johnson, told the Florida cops that Mobley, had been drinking and using drugs, and that when she does this, she becomes aggressive. No shit.
Yeah, that usually happens. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but usually when people drink and take drugs, they get aggressive.
Yeah.
and
Well,
batter
there's
you
one
with
of the
grits.
three things. They either get aggressive with you, or you suddenly become their best friend, or they start crying on your shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty
Mobley
much.
told police that she had been.
Sometimes they do all three in succession.
Mobley told police she had been sleeping on the streets and has
Different stages.
multiple battery arrests, but does not have any convictions. I feel sorry for the.
Were they involving grits?
No. Actually, she started throwing a pile of AAs at her mother. It was assault with batteries.
Oh.
I waited for that one. I was sitting there wondering how long it's going to take.
Hey, look, it's B.
B. All right, New York City teacher bizarrely brags about sex lives of swinging parents at cool elementary school.
What's it going to do right
Okay.
now?
A Brooklyn
I'm a bit
teacher,
concerned myself.
bizarrely boasted on social media how cool her elementary school is because the parents are swingers. There's a group of swingers at the school where I teach, and this proves the Brooklyn public schools are far cooler than private schools. Do you understand the difference between
No.
cool
No, it's school full of a bunch of
and
degenerate
degenerate?
parents. Sounds of it.
Yeah.
A bunch of degenerates.
Oh God, and she's got one of those brainless grins as well.
All right, she's the second
She's
grade.
probably one of the degenerates as herself.
She's the second grade teacher at the public school 372 in
How old is the second
Gowanus
grade?
on X on February 11th. Huh? How old's the second grade?
How old
What's
is?
Seven.
grade?
seven
Yeah.
Between 6 and 7. Normally, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Oh
what I
God.
thought.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Oh, fuck's sake.
Those teachers want taken out.
It's shot.
Put in the playground where but with the kids not being allowed to see
Yeah.
and shot.
Yeah.
A guy responded to her, "Why is that cool?" She responded with, "If you don't know, then you're extremely uncool." Alan, a 47, a mom of 4, and a teacher for 20 years, sarcastically replied.
I guess I'm not cool then.
When the post began making inquiries, Alan quickly deleted her post. Do you realize
Gee, I
that
wonder why.
you outed yourself as a degenerate?
Gee, I wonder why.
Do you realize?
Degenerates.
So she's a paedophile.
He sounds like it.
I don't know if she's a pedophile, but she's definitely a degenerate.
She probably is.
She probably is. If she thinks swingers are cool in bloody 7th grade, yeah. Chances are.
The finding out these days, most female paedophiles can be found in schools.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's the female paedophiles find it a lot easier to hide than male paedophiles and generally gravitate towards jobs involving children.
Well, it depends. If you become a drag artist and do story hour over there, then
the chances of that happening, it's still worse than your chances of growing a personality.
It's still distasteful, and it should not be allowed.
Yeah.
Where you think otherwise is not.
I can imagine.
It's still distasteful, and it should not be allowed.
Agree.
One commentator wondered,
obviously,
about the discretion of the school's parents. The real question is, why are their bedroom activities so public that the school personnel at their children's school are privy to it? She asked. I imagine the yo mama jokes are off the chain.
Booyah!
Oh my god.
Your mom is so fat when she hangs around the neighborhood, she hangs around the neighborhood.
Your mama's so fat she makes Jabba Hutt go, duh.
Your mom was so ugly when she was a baby they used to feed her by airmeal.
Your mama's so fat. Ben Kenobi said, there ain't no moon.
Ooh, nice. Good one.
Your mom was so stupid she thinks Royal Enfield's where the king keeps his chickens.
Your mama's so stupid she went amp not to R2.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, a Waymo robo-taxi goes up in flames in Chinatown after a crowd attacks the vehicle. A crowd in San Francisco's Chinatown surrounded a Waymo robotaxi on Saturday night, broke its windows, and threw fireworks inside, setting the vehicle ablaze. The incident occurred on
Good job, it
Jackson
was
Street
driverless, then, wasn't it?
near Grant Avenue around
Deploy the
9 p.m.
robot!
Waymo said that the
Oh.
autonomous vehicle was not transporting any passengers at the time of the incident, and no injuries were reported. All right, it's not clear
What about the car? What are the injury in the car? He said, "It burns! It burns! It burns!"
All I feel is pain.
It was
Why
not,
do I feel pain?
It was not clear what prompted the crowd to set upon the robotaxi. The San Francisco Police Department said authorities are investigating the incident. Videos posted on social media showed a crowd of several dozen people surrounding the car and scrawling graffiti on the sides. One man bashed the front passenger window and windshield with a skateboard, shattering the glass. Subsequently,
You know why they burnt it? Because he said this is MAGA country. That's what happened.
Yeah, must have been.
Subsequently, someone threw a firework inside, setting the car on fire. Flames quickly engulfed the Jaguar. They're using a Jaguar as their taxi device?
Oh,
Nice.
bunch of sadists.
All right.
Nice.
Actually, I hate to tell you this, but there was somebody in the taxi that got out because the taxi said,
Danger, danger, Will Robinson.
You finally managed to get good use at that. Well done.
Well,
At last.
Well, in a statement, on a follow-up statement, Waymo said the vehicle had recently dropped off its rider and was navigating to its next destination.
yes, and a spokesman for the company said, in response to the damage to the vehicle, had only this to say.
Does not compute.
Mm-hmm.
Everything about this does not compute.
Oh, I've never seen China.
Anyway, guys, I'm gonna have to drop out because I've gotta go do a few things, sort it out.
See you
Thanks for
later,
having me.
buddy.
I'll talk to you then. All right,
Later.
take care.
Have a good one, you bloody hippie.
Bye. So long, you that little git.
Oh, shut up, child.
Oh, shut up for your face.
Italian bastard.
Ah.
Why Republicans are more likely to suffer hearing loss? Leftist screeching.
What?
Oh yeah, and Hail Hydra.
We're embarrassed to
You had
admit
to
it,
get that in.
but at first we saw nothing remarkable about the detailed map showing of hearing loss we've ever seen. The result of a broad effort by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. All right, the map revealed that about 38 million Americans have at least some trouble hearing in both ears, and hearing loss is the greatest in areas with the oldest populations. Well, the areas with the oldest populations are going to have more freaking Republicans, moron. Because when you age, you learn that being a leftist was a mistake.
Yep.
Oh,
It's all
my
about how they're
God.
wording it.
You gotta wonder about the CDC. You really do. I gotta wonder about why we're even bothered funding the CDC. If you really want to know the truth of the matter,
Yeah.
because they're not about control and prevention of anything. Look, okay, let's talk about this. The CDC is there to prevent and control diseases, right?
Yes.
Center for Disease Control and Prevention. Did they
That literally
control COVID?
No.
Of course they controlled COVID. How do you think it was spreading so efficiently?
He has a point that is still technically control.
He does. I have to lose this one. Booger face taunt led to abuse bust. Okay. After being called a booger face by her son, a Florida woman smacked the child, breaking his glasses and leaving him with cuts on his face, according to police, who arrested her on a felony abuse charge. As alleged in the arrest affidavit, Betty Jean Union, 46, was angered by her son name calling, and retaliated by striking the victim with a partially opened hand. The blow caused the glasses of the victims to break and a small laceration on the defendant's right cheek and upper lip.
I've got a question now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right, she's two questions.
Okay.
First of all, that picture there, is that the mother, the child, or and if not, why is there a picture of the father there?
That's a picture of the mother. All right, the confrontation Tuesday
What
Are you
evening.
sure?
Yes, the confrontation Tuesday
Why
evening.
has she got a goatee?
She does not have a goatee.
She does. She does.
She fucking does.
All right, the confrontation Tuesday evening occurred in a
They
home
put the
on
wrong picture there, haven't they?
Safety Safety Harbor, a city in Tampa Bay area. Seen at the right, the Union was busted on felony child abuse charge and booked in the county jail. She was released from custody on her own recognizance late last night. The judge ordered Union to have no contact with the child. Additionally, she was allowed a one-time visit in the presence of police to retrieve her belongings from the residence. The redacted affidavit does not include the age of the child, but indicates that the Union does not have custody of him. All right, court records showed that Union, who was divorced in 1996, has been involved in two separate paternity actions since 2013. Um,
Yeah,
go
the
ahead.
thing is, if that had been the father who'd done that, they wouldn't have been released from jail,
No.
and they wouldn't have been allowed back in the home at all.
Well,
No.
the question that I have is they say that the victim's cheek, right cheek, right, it doesn't it and it's a male child, right? Because it says his upper lip. Okay, so that's the
Yeah.
only thing that the only reason you know it's a male child. Which leads me to the question: is this a mouthy teenager mouthing off at his mom, and his mom smacked him upside the head? Because I find that
I don't
perfectly
know.
acceptable.
I don't know many teenagers that would say booger face.
That's a good point.
No, that is more your 8. That's more your 5 to 8 year old
Yeah.
sort of insult.
Yeah, that's
And I've
It's a
said
kind of-
stuff
it's a-
much
Yeah,
worse to them.
it's a kind of thing that Jensen would use.
Where?
that is
Shut
a
up,
good
booger
point.
face.
See what I mean?
That is a good point. But
Bum nose.
let's get on to the next story. An opinion piece. Okay. What it says about America when Jackie Robinson's statue is destroyed.
They don't like Jackie Robinson.
This is hilarious. Statues don't celebrate.
What the hell happened to his face?
That's not Jackie Robinson. That's Mark Dent, the idiot that wrote this article. Statues
What
don't.
the hell happened to his face?
Don't just celebrate historical figures. They reveal truths about people who commission them, showcasing the ideals they value most, or at least ideals they want to convey. Sometimes they even trumpet the values of broader society's claims to espouse. It's not
No, it was still
surprising
on about
then
that guy's face.
that the
I mean,
baseball legend Jackie Robinson has more statues in the United States than any other baseball player, according to Christopher Stride, a professor at the University of Sheffield in the UK. All right. Now, if you read this article and everything, you find out that the statue was stolen so that the guy could sell the metal. This is a bronze statue,
Mhm.
so
Right.
it basically so it had nothing to do with
with Jackie Robinson himself.
correct. It had nothing
Yeah.
to
But
do
still,
with this. Now, what does it say? It says to me that people don't give a shit about who Jackie Robinson is. I will say that, and that's a mistake. All right, and that people don't care for what they do to statues in the country, which is also a mistake. Okay, and this is the problem when you
actually,
got
they do
assholes
care.
like
That's
this.
why. Actually, they do care. That's why they do it. Because statues are representations of ideals,
No,
I just want to
not
check
just
something.
people.
Batman,
No.
no.
Yes.
Batman.
I'm talking about the
Do
destruction.
you know who he is?
Who?
Jackie Robinson. Do you know who
No.
the dude is?
No. I'm English.
Okay, I just wanted to check.
Okay,
Okay.
Jackie. For those people who don't know who Jackie Robinson is, okay, Jackie Robinson is the first Major League Baseball player who broke the color barrier, and that's what everybody knows him from. He was all, and I want people to understand this. He wasn't just a a guy who broke the color barrier. He was the best player in Major League Baseball, all right, for dozens of years. Okay, he was a phenomenal baseball player himself. Okay, now
Right.
he when he became in the major league. Now, there were other black players because if you remember correctly, you had something called the African American League or the Black League,
See,
right?
can
Or
I
colored league.
pause you a minute then,
Mm-hmm.
Nomad?
Mm-hmm.
You're on about baseball, right? Baseball's the American version of cricket, and
No,
therefore,
it's not. It's
no,
rounders.
hold on. It's the American version of cricket, right?
Mm.
It's their boring sport,
It
and like cricket, I try and pretend that it doesn't exist.
okay, but Americana, you gotta understand Americana back in the day, it was not. It was an American pastime because people used to go to games during the day. It was
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
Instead of going to work today, I'm going to call in sick or I'm going to take a vacation day just so I can see my team play in the doldrums of the summer.
Oh, that's kind of like
And
cricket. Apart from people in the UK go and watch cricket when they can't get any sleep.
yeah. All right. And you had, I mean,
It's
baseball.
one of those games. It's one of those games. I mean, we actually played baseball a bit when I was at school, so I know this. Not rounders baseball. Before you say anything, Jensen. Like cricket, it's a good game to play. Like cricket, it is the most mind-numbingly boring game to watch.
It can be, yeah. And there's no doubt
I
about
mean,
that.
I mean, watching golf in
But
in the middle of the night is
but
more interesting.
you got to remember though that what baseball was is people would go out and have a picnic watching the game.
Yeah.
It was a family outing thing. All right.
That
So
says nothing. People used to have family outings during the Napoleonic Wars to go and watch the battles,
That's also true.
and in the American Civil War, I believe.
we tried
Yeah.
that in the American Civil War once and realized that's a bad idea. Okay. Just to let you know.
Well, yeah, cannon warfare had increased by then, hadn't it?
It wasn't just the cannon warfare; it was the regular bullets could go a lot farther now.
Yeah, that too.
All right, so there was a number of things that would cause this, but in addition to all this, you had the like I said, you had the colored leagues, and there are people who claim that there were colored players that were far better than Jackie Robinson, um, that were playing in the Negro leagues at that time, and that's very possibly true. All right, I'm just pointing
You've
out
got
just
to be in
who
the
he
right
was,
place at
but
the
this
right time
guy
to be noticed.
but this
Mm.
guy was breaking and doing something that was totally different in the color barrier, and he had to put up with a ton of garbage and never responded to it. And what's more is before somebody thinks that he's just like he just could took it in and everything else, and that he wasn't a man. No, this guy also during World War II was lieutenant, and in World War II, all right, refused to sit at the back of the bus. So they court-martialed him. And he won his court-martial because he said, I'm not going to be told by some lower enlisted where I need to sit. And they
So he beat Rosa
literally,
Parks.
and he was Rosa Parks before Rosa Parks ever sat on the bus. All right, this guy was a phenomenal man. He was brilliant as well. All right, it's really now as a baseball player, he was a great baseball player. This is somebody that everybody should be admiring just because of the kind of person that he was, because he
So
was far
basically,
better
what you're
human
saying,
being than the 99.9%, and I include me in that 99% of the people on this planet.
so basically, what you're telling me is he was a person who actually earned the title man.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Respect to that man. I want that clear.
Yeah.
Respect
Okay.
to that man.
So taking down his statue is not a good thing, all right? But it doesn't say anything about America aside from the fact that there are people out there that don't give a shit about society. No kidding. Really, dumbass? Really, Mark? What does it say about society? I don't know. Let me guess who you've been voting for your entire freaking life. You're voting for these scumbags that promote that attitude, and yet you're going to stand there and go, "What is America?" because you were trying to make this into a racist thing.
Yeah, but I want to get back to that guy's face. I mean, what happened? What happened? Was his mother raped by a Picasso picture?
Dude, come on. By the way, I almost guarantee to you that the person that nicked the statue and sold it was one of our
Darker
more
brown?
melanated brethren.
Could be.
Well, we're all
right?
melanated.
Heavily melanated.
Yeah.
Possible.
Okay, just saying.
Missouri Catholic
Yeah.
first grade teacher fired after lesson on slavery. First of all, why are you trying to do a lesson on slavery in the first grade? You're talking 6-year-olds. You
Mhm.
should be teaching them
Yep.
A, B, C. You know, that's just putting it out there, okay?
No. Teach
These
them
are
early so they can get out.
Teach him the real Barney song, you know. I love you, you love me. I got fired for smoking weed.
anyway. A St. Louis Catholic teacher has been let go after her lesson on slavery raised concerns. School officials said that an art lesson, okay, art, you're an art teacher. You're an art teacher
Yeah.
teaching slavery. Okay, first grade students, all right, last week was meant to illustrate the dynamics of slavery through a reenactment of slavery ownership. All right, it is said that the teacher is white. No, the teacher, well, she might be
Oh,
white, but she's
God.
her real defining characteristic is she's
She's
stupid.
stupid.
Okay,
Mhm.
Yeah.
all right. Amino McClure's son is a student in the class. He stated that two white children, young white women, all right, were young, two white children. These are 6-year-olds, and they're not young white women. All right,
No.
all right, were assigned to be slave owners. A little girl was assigned to be Harriet Tubman, and she crawled under tables. The classroom was segregated, blacks on one side, whites on the other side. He was told to give her directions, all right, to go north, south, east, and west, reenacting the Underground Railroad.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Administrators said there was no malicious intent, but do believe the assignment was inappropriate and potentially traumatizing.
You think?
I think the whole thing was inappropriate.
Basically teaching the white kids that they're monsters because they're white.
Pretty much.
The whole thing was just stupid. I mean, it's first of all, you're talking 6-year-olds. You're talking 5 and 6-year-olds.
Yep.
Okay,
Mhm.
5 and 6-year-olds. I don't think obviously the teacher was trying to
I've
make it a
noticed this.
game, but the next question was, what is this doing to have anything to do with art? It says, what are you doing with an
Yeah.
art class?
What does this have anything to do with slavery?
Well, it was just dumb. I mean, what
It's
you
like
had
that.
there was a woman that's not interested in teaching. All right, she's interested in indoctrination. That's
Yeah.
really what she
Oh,
was
I saw a clip of that Disney thing where you got these three girls shouting, "Slaves built this country." Yeah, the percentage of black people in America during the days of slavery was a lot smaller than it is now. Correct?
Yep.
doing.
And America's a fucking big place.
Yeah.
How did slaves build build the United States? Oh, they didn't, because most of them were used on farms in the deep south.
Yep. But you
That's,
don't mention things like that.
I
Okay.
do all the time.
I know.
that's true, but it's a separate issue. Let's go to the next story. Man's best friend. His best friend was a 250
That's a
pound.
horrible thing to say. Hey, hold on. No, that is a horrible thing to say about Melissa McCarthy.
His best friend was a 250-pound warthog. One day it decided to kill him. It's a wild animal.
I don't think
Okay.
it kind of decided. He probably did something it didn't like.
Right? By the age of 30, a time when most people are just beginning to think about their mortality, Austin Riley had already conquered his fear of death. He had been exceedingly close to death on multiple times, including a few months before his first birthday, when a doctors discovered a golf ball sized tumor growing inside his infant skull. He would go on to spend much of his childhood in and out of hospitals enduring high-risk brain surgeries and grueling recoveries. Then, in his mid-20s, he was nearly killed by a brain hemorrhage that arrived one night without warning, unleashing the worst pain he had ever felt. He emerged from that experience reborn, feeling lucky to be alive and convinced that his life had been spared by God, but not by the warthog. So, as soon as he sat in a pool of his own blood on a beautiful October evening in 2022, he couldn't help but acknowledging the morbid absurdity of his current predicament. He had spent decades conquering brain injuries only to be killed while doing mundane chores on his family's 130-acre hill country ranch in Borín, all right, which is in Texas, for those people who don't know. After all
Is
I've
it
been
actually
through.
pronounced boring or boring?
I'm not a Texan. You have to ask a Texan. I just couldn't believe that this was how it was
I
going to
just,
end.
I just, if it's called boring, the irony of where this happened.
All right,
Because what happened is anything but boring.
This is true.
This was a pet he had trusted for more than any other. His lovable 5-year-old warthog, Waylon, which he named for Waylon Jennings. All right, Austin, who spends most of his days working with his hands, feels that a throwback to another era. Ruggedly handsome, a 5 o'clock shadow, head full of unkept brown hair. Right, he favors beaten up boots and Wrangler jeans, and looks like he could have stepped out of a '70s Marlboro ad. When it comes to animals, a softer side emerges. In his polite Texas twang, the 32-year-old talks lovingly about caring for an ostrich or a warthog, as a matter of factly, as most people do about feeding a dog or a cat. All right. What you find out is this attack, and they obviously they killed the animal after the attack because they thought, well, maybe it was rabies. He had
No,
he
it
had
was warthog.
fed the warthog, gone over, fed another like a pygmy pig,
Yeah.
right, called Daisy, and was coming back into the thing when the warthog attacked it. All right. The thing is he goes, I don't know why that attacked him. He goes, it was a warthog that attacked me. It wasn't Waylon, the friendly pig. It's a warthog. Okay,
Yeah.
you have no.
That's the thing. Pigs, domesticated pigs, are generally even tempered, right? That's one of the features we bred into them.
Yeah.
Warthogs are very bad tempered.
Do you think?
Well, I'm thinking along the lines of, okay, he just came out of another pen with a female pig, so
Yeah.
he probably
Mhm.
smelled a female pig in the warthog for whatever reason.
It was Randy.
Could have been. Right?
Let's just be thankful it killed him and didn't do something else bizarre.
This guy had been.
Maybe he wasn't trying to kill him. Maybe he was trying to get his pants down.
Well, it did. The knife wounds or the jaw wounds, however you call it,
The knife
tooth wounds.
Hold on, this was a knife wielding warthog.
You seen warthogs? They have two knives sticking out of either side of their face.
They're not
Their
knives.
tusks are
They're
impressive.
Tusk wounds.
I do like them.
Okay, they are
Knife wounds.
Well, tusk wounds. He had tusk wounds. He had like 15 tusk wounds in his body, including into his genitals.
You realise it would have taken. I mean, less funny if you said gunshot wounds.
It looks like Pumbaa got a little upset.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's because Steven farted in him.
No, that's probably because the guy came out there
Oh,
and
yeah.
called him, "How you doing, pig?" Did you call me a pig?
Stampy.
Oh, you know what it was? After he was fed the warthog and he was eating a bacon sandwich at the time.
That's possible. Okay, final story of the day, folks.
And it's a Muslim pig.
Yeah.
Delta flight rerouted after maggots fall on passenger.
Okay.
A flight from Amsterdam to Detroit was quickly turned around when maggots fell out of the overhead bag onto a passenger on Tuesday. Upon inspection of the nearby overhead bin, the flight crew aboard the Delta Flight DL-133 found an improperly packed carry-on bag that contained rotten fish wrapped in newspaper.
It wasn't me.
According
Yes,
to
it
a
was.
statement from Delta to Fox 2 Detroit and the People, the aircraft returned to the gate and the passengers were placed on the next available flight. Philip Scotty, a Netherlands native, all right, who resides in Iowa, what's he doing in my country? All right, told Fox 2 Detroit that the woman was freaking out, trying to kind of fight off the maggots. They found out that there was rotten fish in there. I could see everybody's reaction to the bag being open. It was just immediately pinching the nose. How the hell did this thing get on the damn plane?
I have an idea, and it's
Yeah.
not a silly idea. I'm
Okay.
thinking disgruntled ex-employee.
Actually, that is quite feasible.
That has to be it because this is
Yeah.
an international flight. You got to go through customs and everything else. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and
It could have been one of the cabin crew that's been on the final flight because of getting a sack.
That's
no.
possible. Yeah.
Believe it or not, no. And I'll tell you why. Because the cabin crews,
Cool.
all their bags are extra.
Okay.
Yeah, but let's face it. They probably people like that probably know people who know people and can get things done.
Possibly.
But I think it was an inside job. And
Yeah.
hello, Sean.
What the F was doing the food service? Who the hell was doing the food? Yeah, it could have been the food service people. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think it's a disgruntled employee who's just been given the sack.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. All right, because that's really the only way to know how you could get into those areas.
My silly idea is the bag obviously belonged to a really short-sighted Chinaman who had mistaken his ready-to-cook rice for his fishing bait.
We're going to do another couple more stories because I found them.
Okay.
Danish man sticks 68 matches up his nose for world record.
Oh, blimey, strike the light.
Really?
You were thinking it, Jensen.
Yeah, I know, but even I didn't say that.
Yeah, because I got there before you.
Fair point.
That's the thing which is annoying me at the moment. All the records that have been attempted now aren't these noble, these great ones like climbing Everest in how many in a certain amount of time. Getting to the South Pole on foot or something like that. It's stupid records now.
Yes. In all fairness, mate, we've basically done most of the things that can be done.
Peter
Not
von
really that much.
Tegan Buskov, all right, was awarded the title for most matches held in the nose when he surpassed Guinness World Records goal of 45 matches.
Unfortunately,
Surprisingly, it didn't really hurt. I have fairly large nostrils and quite stretchy skin.
Unfortunately, he sneezed and set fire to his apartment.
Blame shoot out his ass. Yeah.
No, it was us.
Oh, goodness. All right, this will be the final story.
Mm-hmm.
A raccoon steals woman's DoorDash tacos.
Go raccoons.
That's not a raccoon. That's a midget in a costume.
This is hilarious. A Florida woman took out her phone and started recording when a trio of masked bandits stole her DoorDash taco order in front of her house door. Katrina Severes, I'm not trying to butcher your name, right, said that she opened the front door of her West Palm Beach apartment to retrieve her DoorDash order from Talking Tacos? Or
Yep.
Talking Tacos?
Talking
tacos.
All right. But she instead came face to face with 3 raccoons who were enjoying their late night meal. My
Yeah, you
jaw
wouldn't want it after they've
dropped.
got it.
She took out her phone and recorded the scene, which she posted on TikTok. Once they start hissing, I shut the door. I was like, they can have the carne asada. It's fine.
Yeah, but like you said, after they've been pawing over, would you want it?
She looked out after the raccoons had left and discovered that they'd eaten everything except for the tortillas.
There's a lot about the tortillas, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, the tortillas were the only thing that didn't contain the crack.
That's fair.
Let's watch this. Video
Sorry, the
here.
meth.
Mhm.
Let's watch this thing. I'm kind of curious to see if she opens the door.
Yeah,
So
I
no,
think
it's
I know
fine.
exactly. I know which one you're going to look at as well.
He just ripped open the bag. Look at this. He's like, "Hey, you think you can take me?"
You know, if that had been anybody from my part of the UK, that raccoon would have gone flying backwards after it had been kicked.
If that had happened in any other place aside from Florida, right, it would have been met with a shotgun.
If that,
Yeah.
if that had happened in Sunderland, that raccoon would be skinless, headless, and in somebody's microwave by now.
I was going to say, wouldn't you guys have eaten it?
Sunderland would have.
Fair point.
Let's face it. If it happened in your neck of the woods, it'd probably be the next mayor.
No, you take that back. That
Nope.
raccoon's probably a lot better than what's
Sadiq.
his face would ever be. And you know. Oh, come on.
Morph,
Sadiq-
hold on. Morph from Tony Hart it would be a lot better.
Yes. Anything
I
would
mean,
work.
fucking hair would be better, and he's just a puppet.
Fair point. Basically, the only thing that's not better than Khan is unfortunately your president, and you still have my sympathies on that.
Actually, yeah. No, you're wrong, because at least Joe Biden's got an excuse.
That's fine.
It is what it is. Anyway,
Yep.
that's all we've got for now.
That's the thing. Is it actually dementia he's got, or do you think it's brain damage from all inhaling all of that fucking child-friendly shampoo?
It could have been the drugs.
No, I think it's the shampoo.
Could have been the shampoo in the drugs. Could have been the drugs.
That's
in the
why he
shampoo.
was sniffs kids' hair. That's why he sniffs children's hair, because he's addicted to the shampoo.
Anyway, the time to go. Thanks for coming, everybody. Hope you all
Right,
have a good day. We'll talk to you all.
You heard him.
Bye bye.
You heard him. You lot. Son